Okay, super sorry about that. John, I wish you would have said that out loud because that was something I could have fixed really easy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want
No,
to.
that's okay. That's okay. It's just the first half an hour of the stream. There's going to be no summary and just my commentary.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, that's okay. All right.
We had such good comments.
I know. It was great. I think that I changed it as we were starting the actual game. I think I didn't change it until after the summary was done. Okay, so with that, the spell ends, and you can see there's no, like, reaction of aggression or anger. The sword just pulls back as he holds it in a defensive position and shakes his head and says,
"It is inevitable. Stop resisting. It will happen eventually."
And let me double check here. I think that... Okay. So that is going to be the end of his turn. Then we come to these ghouls over here. This one is going to run up 30 feet up to here as it passes out of the flame, not taking any damage. These ones are all going to go 15. Yeah. 30, 15, 30, 20, 10. That's as far as they can get. Okay. This one, however, that is like barely hanging on, immediately as soon as it is wreathed in that necrotic energy emanating from the Death Knight, you can see its vigor grows and strengthens. As Alec, it is going to make one bite and one claw attack against you.
Okay.
Bite, claw. That is going to be an 8 on the bite and then a 21 on the claw.
Yep, the claw hits.
Okay, so that's going to be 9 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw on the bite.
Oop, okay. 9 reduced to odd numbers are hard.
I don't think you're raging because that requires a bonus action. You drink the potion.
Oh,
Ooh.
you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. I'm so used to that. I apologize.
The one time.
Oh, man. Oh, if that's... I played the wrong card. Okay. And then Constitution saving throw?
Con saving throw, yeah.
I'm good at those.
Yeah, it's not... I'm sure you
I
won't
rolled
have.
9, but I have a +9. 18?
Yeah, that's a success. You can feel as it bites into your arm and begins to tear just a chunk of flesh out. You can feel part of your muscles begin to tense up, but luckily you break out of that tension, feeling that should you have failed, you may have been paralyzed.
Ooh.
Okay.
No good. Okay.
All right, that's going to be the end of the... Actually, the ghouls will use their action to dash. I don't know, I didn't think about that. So they'll move an extra 30 feet. This one will get here. This one will get here. And then this one will get here. Okay, then we come to Lady Flint.
Oh, I have changed my mind slightly. I'm going to cast Enlarge on Alec.
Nice.
Oh.
Hell yeah!
Oh boy.
And Tequila is going to fly over and land on her back, and I'm gonna head 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, over here.
Okay, alrighty.
And Tequila will land on Alec's back.
Sounds good to me. Let me make that. Let me do that.
It's gonna push the ghouls out of.
Yeah. So that means that
Also,
lot of...
that is a concentration spell for me.
Okay, got it. That is good to know. Sorry, I'm just hooking up the little thing to Alec here real quick. All right, there we go. Little squid monster is on Alec now. All right, so these ones get
Hell yeah.
pushed
It
back.
seemed like the thing to do.
Yeah, all right.
I'm not mad about it.
So Varnesh, you're kind of pushed into the ghoul who you're like shoving off into the distance as Alec like grows in size and is now about like 12 and a half feet tall, broad as a barn. And with that, Lady Flint, anything else?
No, move Tequila, move myself. That'll do her. Kayla, just remember that she gets an extra D4 damage now. Not that it's much, but...
Hey man, every bit counts. I appreciate you.
Okay. Alrighty. So then with that, we come to Varnast.
Varnast is seeing their predicament and seeing that there's going to be a lot more of them very soon. He's going to drop a level 4 Spirit Guardians on top of himself.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So I'll
Smart.
do that. Actually, Spirit
done,
Guardians
spell.
is a really pretty spell on Foundry as well.
Ooh.
4th level Spirit Guardians. Where's that at? It's 4th level, right? Oh, Spirit. Oh, you're casting it at 4th level. Got it.
Yeah. So an affected creature's speed is halved in the area, and when the creature enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it must make a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 4d8 radiant damage in this case.
Okay. 15 feet. Oh, yeah, of course. Concentrating.
So would that hit the 3 now, or would it wait till they start their turn in there? I've always been a little confused about this spell.
I think that it's when they start their turn, just because it's that way to keep it easier. So that way we don't, because I don't think that it says, put around you. Yeah, so it's when it enters for the first time or starts its turn. So we'll just say it's when it starts its turn, just because, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. And Varnast will move 5 feet forward, so he's like between the Death Knight and the Ghoul.
Okay, yeah. Wow. Spirit Guardians moves with you.
And that will be it for him right now.
Okay, sounds good to me. So then we come to Asa all the way up here. She is going to come around this way, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right there. And she's going to go ahead and take a longbow shot at the Death Knight. Wow, that's a 9. That's going to be a miss. The
Oof.
arrow, impacts with the steel plate armor and just completely cracks and shatters as soon as it makes impact. Okay, so then we come to the other ghouls. This one. Ooh, man. This ghoul right here is going to run forward to you, Varnast, through the firewalls. Then we have 25, 20, 20. And then this one can move an extra 10 feet, 10 feet, and then 5 feet. And then they're going to move an extra 30 for their action to dash. But the thing is, it's rough for that one. Not being aware of the situation. This one, as soon as it enters, those Spirit Guardians immediately swing around and crash into it. As it's going to go ahead and take it's going to need to make a Wisdom saving throw, DC 17. I'm sure that's not going to succeed. No, that is a failure. And then it automatically rolled 18. Do you just want me to take that for convenience, or do you want to roll it?
I rolled a 22, so I'm going to take that if that's okay.
That's okay. With 22 points of damage, actually, as it swings in and crashes into the ghoul, that is actually enough to kill the ghoul outright.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man. So with that
So
ghoul
I'm
is
expecting
dead.
that.
Yeah, 22. Alrighty, cool. So then we have, that is the, oh wait, this one that ran up to you, Varnast, will also need to make a saving, oh, wait a second. As it runs up to make contact with you, as it goes to swing, you can see the Spirit Guardians come down, and it's 4d8, right?
Yeah, I mean, do you want me to roll for every person, or just keep the 22 and have that just be the roll for this round?
We'll just have it be the roll for
I'm
this
fine
round.
either way.
Yeah, so that would actually also be enough to take this one down as well. That ran right in front of you and was getting ready to crash into you.
Okay.
Okay, alrighty. So then we come to Oyvind. I think you might be muted, Eric.
Eric.
Because you rolled your die.
Yes. So Oyvind is going to start their turn out by pulling out this ornate-looking golden and ivory-looking horn with inlay that looks of multiple heroes throughout time, especially from Albiord itself. and he is going to blow the horn of Valhalla and summon 3d4 plus 3 berserkers
What?
out to help us out in this situation.
Nice. All right. Go ahead and roll your 3d4 plus 3 or 3d4 plus 4.
3d4 plus 3.
Okay. So there's automatically 3.
That's 7 plus 3, so 10 berserkers.
Jesus.
Woo. Okay, so that is quite a bit. All right. So you can see just like swarming around you all of these like spectral warriors wearing these different yeah, I know. Yeah. These just clinging with fog and smoke to them, drawing their weapons. These ferocious warriors. One standing next to you, Zamir, and then Torin, Doggelin, and Oyvind just surrounding you entirely.
Yeah, and then Oyvind's just gonna go, if you want to stay in Valhalla, kill the one in the middle.
Hell yeah.
There you go. And just
All right.
sick them all on this death knight.
All right.
I'm going to bonus action. The reason why I rolled a d10 is for the spirit stories for the bardic inspiration.
Mhm.
And a 3 is... Oh, this is cute. Tale of Beloved Friends. The target
Aw.
and another creature of its choice it can see within 5 feet of it gains temporary hit points equal to a roll of bardic inspiration die plus your charisma modifier.
Oh.
So it's going to be D5. It's going to be 5 plus the D10, which I can roll now.
Okay.
And I'm going to choose Varnas, and because they're close to one another, Alec.
Oh.
Because yeah, it's true friendship.
Oh yeah.
That is a 4 plus 5, so you both get 9 temporary hit points.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, man.
Thank you.
Oops.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So I rolled
And
initiative
that's
for the
my turn.
berserkers, and they rolled a
Oh,
natural
shit.
20. So
Oh.
all of them. I'm just gonna have all of them go right after Zamir.
Hell yeah.
'Kay.
Just bring it on. Hell yeah.
Okay.
That's my turn. Thank you.
You can see that as you blow the horn, the spirits conjure themselves, appearing, brandishing their weapons, sort of screaming and yelling their war chants and cries. You can see Varnast, the Death Knight, will look to you and say,
Do you really think that you all are that much more pious than him? What am I but another spirit that he uses when he needs?
and with that, at the end of Oyvind's turn, he's going to spend one of his legendary actions, and he's going to make 2 melee attacks against you, Varnast.
I'm going
He-
to Sentinel. Sorry. Don't attack my dad.
Okay. All right. So it's going to be 2 longsword attacks, Varnast. Oh, that first one's not good. Oh, but that second one is gnarly. Oh, wow. So the first one was a 17 to hit, which is a miss.
I'll count
Okay.
22 to hit, by the way.
Okay, 22 hit. So you can go ahead and roll your damage, Alec. But Varnast, the second one was a natural 20 to hit.
Classic Varnas.
Not raging either, which is really awkward.
What's up?
So it's just... I said I'm not raging, so I had to use my other thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I do have Divine Fury that goes off.
Correct. Yeah, the Divine Fury
Oh.
does go off.
Oh wait, never mind.
Yeah, this isn't, yeah, at the beginning of his turn. So Varnast, oh, wow, that is gnarly. because you can see that as the blade comes down on top of you, the first one you're able to deflect with your shield, Varnast, but you can see there are these like runes carved into the side of it that to you is similar. You would have recognized it from when Morganix had the Frostbrand sword, but these runes are twisted and corrupted, where it's perhaps in a similar vein to like a Flame Tongue or a Frostbrand, but twisted with necrotic energy of undeath. As it comes down and slashes into you with a natural 20, that is going to be... So, 20 points of slashing damage. And that's not all, folks. Then there was also an additional 4d8 necrotic damage. But 4 of those d8 are maxed out. And then an additional 4d8 are rolled, same as you guys have against enemies. So that means that it is 20 points of slashing damage. And then a grand total of 43 points of necrotic damage.
Holy shit.
I'm still standing.
I'm still standing.
I was gonna sing it too.
All right.
Look like a true survivor.
Feeling like a little. Sorry.
I gotta roll concentration. If I roll a nat 20, Spirit Guardians is still up miraculously.
Oh god, come on. Come on.
First one was a 3.
Okay.
Hey, that fell on the floor. That didn't count. Hang on.
Unless it's a natural 20. Then it counts.
Oh no, it's a
God,
natural 20.
God,
That's great.
It drops.
Oh, it drops. Okay. All right.
Would a +5 have made a difference?
No.
Okay.
I literally needed the nat 20 because I needed the +10 that Joe gives out. If he didn't have that rule, then even a nat 20 wouldn't have done it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So with that, Varnast, you do stop concentrating on Spirit Guardians as the spirits fade. Luckily, you were able to kill 2 of the ghouls, but sadly, the Death Knight is still standing, and even with the attack that Alec, as you made into him, carving into the metal, scraping and breaking away some of it, you can see this, like... You're taken aback for a moment, Alec, as this individual seems rather strong with the weight that they carry that greatsword and slam it down. But as part of the metal is broken off on one of the pauldrons, you can see this, like, withering corpse. Like someone who's been starved from food and sustenance for who knows how many years, but has been forced to live. Just a weak corpse underneath that armor. With that, Torin, we come to your turn.
Sorry, one thing. Since he hit me, I'm going to use my Wrath of the Storm to
Hell yeah.
blast him with some lightning.
Okay, yeah.
So he must make a Dex saving throw.
Dex saving throw? Oh,
Yep.
well, that's not good. Dex saving throw. That's going to be a low number. That's going to be a 6. Or 12, sorry.
Okay.
Still a failure.
He takes 12 points of damage, and he is pushed 10 feet away from me.
Okay. All right, 10 feet. Okay,
Yep.
so 5, 10. As you push him back, he slides into the sand, sort of digging his blade into the ground to halt him before sliding any further back. And then we'll stand back in a defensive position. Okay. All right, now, Torin, it is your turn. Surrounded by warriors of Valhalla.
Yeah, Torn is like, oh man, I'm so tired. Whoa, what the hell? Oh, geez. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Okay. And shit, I was gonna run at the Death Knight, but now he's not in range anymore.
Sorry.
It's fine. Kind of.
Do you still have that potion I gave you? Because it's still good.
The potion of flight?
Yeah. It'll give you some temporary hit points.
Ooh, that's okay.
Not many, but just keep that in mind.
And it'll give me 10-foot flying speed. Wait. Is
It's
that on
useless,
top of my
except-
movement speed?
Yeah.
That means
Well,
I could get to the
no.
Death Knight. No?
I don't know.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah,
don't know
Yeah,
either.
recall.
I don't know how movement works like that. Like when you have different types of movement, do they stack?
Yeah. I'll just stick with regular movement until we figure that out. I won't mess with,
Good
rules.
point, though.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know. That would make some creatures ridiculous then, because like
They are considered separate. So you either have a flying speed or you have a walking speed.
Okay.
That makes sense. Because yeah,
because
that would be
dragons have
crazy.
a flying speed and they
and
have like
they would be able to move like 300 feet. In a turn,
Yeah.
like that.
So-
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Torrin's gonna look over to Owen and just say, "Okay, this time, really stay behind me." And he's gonna start running over. He's gonna run over.
I'll stay behind him and him and
Yeah,
him and
stay
him.
behind all of them. And as he's running over,
Pointing out to the spirits.
do you have a 15-foot cone? Like,
Yeah, I do.
Template I can see.
15-foot cone.
Yeah.
15 feet, you'd be looking at about right there.
Really? Okay. Where did I move? Okay. Sorry. What if I was here? Did I hit the Death Knight in this pool?
I believe so. Yep. Yep, you could.
Oh, I'm gonna take 2 attacks of opportunity. That's fine. It's fine. Yeah, he's gonna run.
Fine.
He's gonna see these 2 ghouls by a really large Alec and go, "Oh, you're good." And he's gonna keep running, and he's gonna slide a little bit. And as he's running, his throat starts to billow up with fire.
Ah, nice.
And I'm going to use my breath weapon to blow fire at this ghoul and the Death Knight.
Nice.
And is, I believe, 4d6.
Yeah, okay. Sick. I will roll the 2 attack of opportunities just real quick, which are 2 bite attacks. I'm sure these are going to miss. That is a 5 and a 13, so yeah, that's going to miss.
Sorry, I'm taking so long, guys.
No, you're good. Has the Death Knight been hit with any other spells aside from counter spell?
I think so.
No.
No.
No. Okay.
Did he take damage from the wall of fire?
Oh, yeah.
He did. He did.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yes.
okay. So he would have failed that saving throw anyway.
Okay. So they need to make DC 14. It just says saving throw. Oh, type determined by my ancestry. Dex.
Dex. Okay. So DC 14, Death Knight succeeds. The ghoul, however, I'm not so confident on saves Dex. Ghoul fails.
Okay. So he releases this torrent of fire breath, and the ghoul is going to take 14 points of fire damage, and
Oof.
the Death Knight will take 7.
Okay, Death Knight takes 7. The ghoul burnt to a crisp. As the ghoul just, is just burned to a crisp, falls over, and just flattens out into dust on the ground.
And then he's going to take his shield of expression, and it's going to change into it's an angry face. And with a bonus action, I'm going to smack the hammer onto the shield, the front of the shield, and say, I don't know what the command word is, but whatever Torrin says the command word is that I haven't figured out yet. And the hammer is going to light up with fire.
Nice.
And he's just going to look at the Death Knight and go, "Come on." That's my turn.
Death Knight is going to look back and say,
You have so much confidence, so much joy. I'm so sorry.
and
Torrin's going to say, can I respond to that?
yeah, sure.
Torrin's going to say, that's because I believe in my oath, in my friends, unlike you.
Oh,
Damn. Harsh.
You can see his shoulders shulk a little bit. They kind of sink down as he.
this guy needs some therapy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's going to get hammer therapy.
Okay.
Why, John, are you saying it's hammer time?
I was waiting for it. It is.
Well, it'll be hammer time in about 4 turns, or in about 9
Yeah.
turns. All right, Zamir, it is your turn. Still concentrating on Wall of Fire back up at the top of the turn order. What do you want to do as you're surrounded by 10 spectral warriors?
I think
I mean, he's
Zamir
probably
being
always
Zamir,
like drunkenly seeing stuff.
he would
so-
be like, kind of. Do you know, like, when there's like a smoke machine, you're trying to like just fuck with it and like mess with your hand and just kind of like putting it in and out and just going like, weird.
Love it.
You can see one of the one that's standing right next to you kind of looks at you, and he sticks his spectral hand through you and goes, weird.
Let's have a look.
Zamir made a new friend from thousands of years ago.
Quality content.
Yeah.
Yeah, checks out. Right. These two ghouls are looking fine. The one closest to me. I'm conscious about spell slots right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Isn't
I
that
didn't use
odd?
that- I know. I didn't use that many, but at the same time, it's like, how long is this gonna go on? Okay. Yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to. I can probably do a Burning Hands.
Nice.
Yeah, let's. I'm gonna place it here, but I'm gonna kind of like, run. Just be like, don't mind me. Oh fuck. Kind of shoot fire at these two. Realize, actually, fuck this. Don't want to be here. And then run right back.
I just.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're going to get some dexterity saving throws from these two ghouls. Oh, that's a 2, and that is a, let's see, that'd be a 14 plus 2, so that is going to be a 16, which goes with failures, so they're both going to take 11 points of fire damage.
Did Zamir just kind of copycat Torin?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you guys both just shot
Yeah.
15-foot cones of fire. Oh,
I looked at
goodness.
him, He
He
looked
looks
at
to
me.
me, and I looked at him. That's really funny. Yeah, so you can see just in an instant, there are these two like motes of fire that shoot out in cones, and Torin, you're like, what was that? And Zamir, you're like, what was
oh,
that?
you can do that too?
Alrighty, cool. So Zamir, you run back, like you're just able to reach towards that one big pillar. Anything else?
No.
Okay, alrighty, cool. So with that, we come to the Berserkers, and they're gonna do exactly as they were instructed. So 30. Well, actually, we gotta have them take care of these ghouls first. So these two are gonna come over here. Oh God! All right. Sorry, as I play with my action figures for a second. So they're gonna go reckless. So they get one attack each. So against the ghoul, that's gonna be 12 points of damage to the ghoul. That is enough to kill this one. Dead. He's not unconscious as much as he wishes he was. He's definitely dead. Then this berserker is gonna go great axe twice. That's going to be a 21 to hit for 14 points of damage. Oh, God. Oh, there's too many dice on the screen. Ah! Okay. All right, so these two ghouls are dead. Not invisible. Just dead. Okay. And then they're going to move right here, just that way they can make some room for the other people to come through. 30. Oh, this is also 30. 30. 30. Okay, this one will move here. This one will move here. 30. 30. 25. We got like a nice zigzag of berserkers right here. These two, however, will come over here, and they're going to go ahead and take a couple of smacks at the ghoul that's right there. That is a natural 20 and a 23, so that's going to be 27 points of damage against the ghoul. That's actually enough to kill it outright. Okay. All right, so with that, the berserkers, yeah, you know what? They'll also use their action to sprint, so they're going to kind of like come around here and start to surround him. This one didn't get to attack, so it'll go here, and this one will go here, and then this one will go here, leaving an open spot for you, Torin. There you go. All right. No problem.
I appreciate it.
Okay, Big Alec.
Hey, Big Alec is
Big Alec.
Okay, well, first of
Big
all,
Al.
she's gonna rage. Finally.
Hey.
Hey, a lot of ghosties in my way.
There are,
Just step through them.
They do see you as a friendly, so you're good.
Okay.
They're spectral, right?
yeah.
Can I occupy the same space as them, or no?
They would be uncomfortable with it, but I don't see why not.
Yeah. I mean, they were touching through Zamir. It's all the same here.
Okay, well, Alec is gonna.
It's public
Stand-
transport at this point.
Things
Alec
were
is
different
gonna
at that
On the
stand through
trolley.
them. And she's gonna make 2 attacks with her greatsword at this.
Yeah.
Death
Ancient Jormungandry was a lot like ancient Greece in terms of how easy it was to enter in people and exit out of them.
Okay, well, that's a 24 to hit. I would assume that hits.
Yeah,
That's quality content. More
I'm
of this, please.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be.
Oh wait, sorry, I rolled not the correct thing.
Oh, yeah, you're not punching. Yeah.
That was weird. I am slashing. Plus my Divine Fury, the radiant damage goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was the first attack.
14
The
points of
second
damage.
attack. Wait a second. Don't I get a D4 added to that because I'm big?
Correct.
Yes,
Because
you
you're
do.
big.
Because I'm big? Okay,
Big.
hell yeah.
Whoa.
Add that.
I'm big.
Hell yeah. Add those
Wow.
3 points on my
Extra
bigness. Oof, okay. I rolled an 8. What is my attack? Plus 11? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 19.
19 hits. Oh, wait, actually, 19 against the Death Knight?
Correct.
That does not
Miss.
hit. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Those just, I had the ghoul
No,
AC
it's
in my
okay.
head. Yeah.
Alright. Okay. Because I raged, I don't get a bonus action, so unfortunate. Wow, one action by Alec. That's uncomf, but that's it. I'm uncomfortable.
All right. You made your attack. You raged, luckily.
I did.
And with that, we'll move on to the Death Knight. The Death Knight is going to, being surrounded by people, it is going to hang its head again and let out a solemn sigh as it twists the blade around in its hand, and it is going to raise the hilt up and then slam it down again around it, casting Destructive Wave again.
Counterspell, anyone?
Spamming A.
I think they're too far away.
Well, anything in 10 feet has a +4 to their saving throw.
Hell yeah.
So we would be looking at
Nice.
Varnast, Alec, Torin.
I'm within range, so I'll counterspell
Oh.
that.
Okay,
Let's
at what level?
go!
It's 60
Nice.
feet, so I'm gonna counterspell that again.
My bad.
But it's only at 3rd level. There's a chance it might not work.
Yeah.
Roll high.
Damn.
Sadly, nope, that's not going to be enough. As the blade comes up and slams down, the Destructive Wave echoes out, creating these cracks in the ground, consuming everybody. So this would be a lot of the Berserkers, Alec, Torin, and Varnast. I need all of you to make a Constitution saving throw.
27.
Is that
Nice.
with the +4?
Oh no, that's not.
31.
31. Alec is really
31
good
foot
now that I
31?
realize.
Just barely makes it.
21.
I am. Oh
Okay.
my god.
No, 22. Sorry.
Okay.
7?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Torin, that's a failure, bud.
That's a dice jail for that dice.
Okay.
Fucking dice.
So the Berserkers,
Oh.
This one, and this one is a +4.
okay. So I'll roll for the ones that... I'm going to roll 1 for all 3 of them that are within 10 feet of Torin. So Con is +3. Then +4 from Torin. So +7 to this roll, whatever it is. That's a 12, 21, so that's a success.
Oh, this is a Constitution saving throw. I didn't add my modifier. I just added my +4 to the 3 I rolled. So 13?
13 still failure, sorry.
Oh, well, I tried.
Worth a shot.
So the
Yeah.
3 nearest to Torin succeed, and then I'm just going to roll for the 5 that are around him on the other side, because that just makes sense to my brain. So this is just a straight +3. That is a 16 for a 19. That is also a success. And then finally the last one up by Varnast. That one is a 6, so that's going to be a failure. So that's 1 failure. So this Berserker and Torin are going to take 21 points of thunder damage and 21 points of necrotic damage for a total of 42. Varnast, Alec, and the rest of the Berserkers are going to take 21 points of damage.
What did you say? How much?
What kind of damage is this?
Thunder and necrotic.
Oh, I don't get to have.
Oh, it's not fire? It's not fire damage?
No, it is not fire.
Oh, well, you said 21?
21. No, you take 42.
21. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Ow. Oh.
And then there's their one.
That
Yeah,
hurt.
sorry, Alec. I need to move you real quick so I can have easier access to the one
Sorry.
you're standing on. Okay. All right. Okay. So with that, the blade slams down. The destructive wave cracks out, and you can feel the ground thunder and shake. Then Torin, you are knocked prone, as
Yeah.
well as this Berserker over here. And then Varnast, you succeeded as well.
Yes, I passed.
Okay, all right. So yeah, those are the only 2 that are knocked prone. Okay,
On par for Torin.
alrighty. So then that will end the Death Knight's turn. Then we come to these ghouls that are marked with the face. Oh, all of those ghouls are dead. Okay, cool. All right, so Lady Flint, it's your turn.
Okay. If I wanted to join the Burning Hands pissing contest, could these 2 ghoulies here be in a 15 feet cone?
Ooh, these 2 here. Ooh,
I don't think they can.
ooh yeah.
I don't think they can. So
Yeah,
probably
it's
not
like
that
if you
one, but-
if you like got literally right on top of this one, or like the other way, you know, like if you were to get in his space.
I mean, I've done worse, but no, that's just not worth it. So
Right
I'm
here wouldn't
going-
work? No, never mind. That wouldn't work. Right next
Yeah, no. Dodge it.
I'm just gonna come over here though, and I'm gonna take a shot at the Death Knight with lemonade.
Okay.
Ba-ba-ba. Roll 1d20 plus time. Dirty 20.
Nice. Okay, that will just hit.
Just hit.
That's garbage. That's absolute. It's cabbage. And then
11 points of damage. Cabbage.
yeah, Tequila is gonna notice that Varnast is looking kind of. Is Alec or is Varnast in worse shape right now?
Probably Varnast, if I had to guess.
Yeah, Alex is at 73 right now. She's all right.
Oh, I'm not.
Okay, yeah.
Not to brag, but I'm
Not
not.
to
I'm
give too
not.
much away, but the HP I'm at might be a single digit.
Oh yeah.
What?
Tequila is gonna go land on Varnast, and through. No, I can't. Wait, yes, I can. Through Tequila, I'm going to cast a mass healing word for Varnast and Alec and Torin and anyone else who might be in there.
What is that? A 30-foot range?
It's a 60-foot, actually.
Oh, 60. That's like everybody.
Yeah, well, anybody who needs it. It's more cabbage. It's 6 points of healing.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yep.
So let me scroll over Varnas, or not Varnas, Oben and Zamir in the back. Yeah, they're good. They don't need me.
I'm at full. So I haven't taken any damage in this or the other fight.
And I'm gonna shout out, Varnest, I got you a better one next time.
Thumbs up.
as he's grabbing onto his like side that's currently bleeding. Just
His thumb is broken in two places somehow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like it's leaning too far back to where you're like, ugh.
Yeah, I should have killed him instead of shot. I'm sorry.
No,
no
it
worries.
helps.
every little bit helps, yeah. All right, so with that, Varnast, it's actually your turn.
All right. I don't
Varna.
think this is gonna work, but he would try it. Varnas is gonna run to that one unoccupied corner surrounding the Death Knight,
Okay.
and you said the like part of his armor was cracking to where he was like starting to show like the flesh underneath.
Yeah.
All right. And just having this kind of just like sad and tired expression that Varnas usually has. He's going to attempt to reach forward and at level 4 cast Remove Curse on this being.
Ooh.
I think you broke Joe.
He's like, why do you always have that damn spell prepared?
Okay.
Joe.
Yeah, sorry.
No cleric.
I think it actually did break him.
my face on the stream was equal
Oh, yeah, I'm
parts
watching
concerned and happiness. Okay, what I need you to do is I need you to make a pretty much like a spell attack check. So your proficiency plus your wisdom modifier plus a d20 as you go to reach into the armor, and you can see the Death Knight react.
I'm
And-
gonna bend luck. Give him the bonus.
Oh shit!
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What?
He's bending luck. So what is that? An extra D something?
Yeah, extra D4.
Ooh, okay. It's looking good, boys. Okay. Hang on, let me do math real quick.
Do you want to roll D4 or do you want me to?
I already did. I thought I was supposed to. Sorry.
That's fine. No, it's okay.
That's a 29.
29. Okay. As you reach in where that armor had been busted open, you grab in and you can feel yourself kind of cut on the sharpness of the armor. So just oh god. From that, you just like reaching in, you will take 2 points of slashing damage as the metal does cut along your arm. But
Sure.
you discharge the magical energy, and as you do, you feel this sort of radiance and divinity transfer from you into this Death Knight. And you can see the helm bend up to look at you. And the sword drops to the ground. As you can feel in him, whatever this vessel is, there is an urge to stop fighting, to stop doing what he does. But there is this other urge that pushes back against you, that tries to bend him and break him, change him into something that he's not. But Varnast, you push back even harder. And whatever forces was pulling at him, like chains tethering him down, you break them. You can feel this mass expulsion of energy from your hand as you immediately pull your hand back. And there is this high-pitched whine that leaks out into the air as the armor itself begins to fold and crack in on itself, a lot like when the Witch King dies at the during the Return of the King, kind of folding in, hissing and cracking and breaking, and then there is this detonation of energy as he is reduced to a finite spot as everything that was there fades. The emanation stops. And the ghouls sort of wither and fall and die. And Varnast, you stand there for a moment, breathing And then you see this spectral form return in its place. Where once the Death Knight stood, instead now there stands a man of some kind. Pointed ears, an elf of some kind, but you can tell there is this sort of like crown of nature on top of his head that is constantly shifting from different seasons of flowers. A long cloak billowing at his sides and resplendent, beautiful armor. You see him look to you, Varnast. Thank you. Thank you.
Be at peace. Your suffering ends.
And with that exhale, there is this fresh breeze that breaks across the cavern. The scent of pine and lavender. And you can see that where that finite amount of energy had fallen down into the ground, you can see grass and moss and flowers begin to sprout and crawl across the area, slowly moving. And you can tell that maybe in a day or a week, this entire area will be covered in leaves and trees and vines, and who knows what else, what other life may find its way into this cavern.
Is everyone all right?
Yeah, that was kind of anticlimactic.
Oh, that was fucking amazing. Sorry.
At least this way we know that when we face Korvac, we will have a much better chance. You did a good thing, Varnast.
We should, we either should rest or start heading back.
I honestly need a rest.
I think a lot of you do. But I can top you off a little anyway. Through tequila, I'll give Varnast a cure wounds.
I'll cast. What's up with those two ghouls over there before what I'm about to do?
Oh no, they're definitely, yeah, they withered and died as the
as
curse
they
was
died.
broken.
Sending off all of the spirits, and then I will cast Healing Word for Torin at 3rd level, because it's basically the highest level I have left. 13 total. Not huge. Something.
Something to, take the ache off while you're trying to rest.
DM question. So, are we gonna head back towards the tribe's home to get to the Phoenix, or will we kind of bypass that entirely?
Yeah, so as you're kind of thinking about next steps, Asa would inform you that the quickest way to the Phoenix would be a diagonal from where you are away from the Casa tribe's home.
Okay. Yeah. Then just kind of, because she has this vantage point, looking around at everything that has happened, and not wanting to lose another friend, Alec will say, I think that we really need a rest. If those of you who are not hurt as badly, maybe take watch.
I can take a watch.
I too am fine.
I think I'm gonna lay down.
I think that's a great idea.
Me too.
You are an incredible individual, Varnast, with an amazing heart. Thank you for what you did.
I'm just sorry we weren't here sooner for him.
Well, his spirit's with the others. Perhaps in Valhalla.
Ornus, you saved all of us.
It's just what we do. We watch out for each other. Y'all would have done it for me in a heartbeat too.
Yes, I would have. I'm gonna go sit down.
Same.
I just, and you can see Asa kind of speak up. Seeing what just transpired. How did you break that curse?
Oh, that's what happened. I wondered why he just fucking fell over.
And Farnast actually kind of laughs at that.
MVP right there.
Ow, ow. Clutches his
Don't
wrist.
make me laugh. Oh,
It's,
I honestly thought he was just like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Wait, you did that?
I mean, I didn't know it was going to go quite like that, but yes, it's the same spell that I used to get Duncan out from Korvok's control.
Okay,
Although a little bit more power I put into it this time.
this pretty hot. Not gonna lie.
Varnaz is just kind of like, thanks.
Oh, wait, and Asa kind of looks to you, Cyrus, or Zamir. I don't recognize you. Did you grow up in the Kasa tribes? That's a saying we have here.
Oh,
That's
God.
hot.
No. I mean, it's a wonderful place. I'm sure. I'm sure, right? And looks at the rest of them, being like, "Is it?"
Flint is shaking her head no behind her back.
Raven will
Alex.
shrug.
Yeah.
Good enough.
When you all do return, I will speak with Chief to have all of you be allowed. And sorry, the pollen, I'm not used to it.
Bless you.
bless you.
Thank you.
There's a lot of dragon blood and everything in the air.
Yes, it's very hard to. I'm not used to it.
Spirit dust. It,
Yes,
Yeah.
activates.
I will
Gets in there.
Don't
encourage.
read this.
I will encourage the chief that all of you be allowed into the city proper. It's just, you have to understand that many people have come to try and find this place that we live, to try and hurt us, to try and stab us in the back, when all we want is peace and solitude. But you all are very special individuals, I can tell that. Whoever that man was, it brings me much joy and happiness to see that you did that to him. She had talked about when she first went to fight him. Our chief, Shania, she said that she had delivered many killing blows, but none of them destroyed it. It just kept getting back up and back up and back up, till eventually the rest of her soldiers had died and she was alone and had to leave. And, well, tomorrow morning when all of you wake up, I will take you to the Phoenix. So hopefully you can bring your friend back. If she is half as kind and noble as the rest of you seem to be, then we will welcome her back happily.
She's more.
Asa will nod at that. And she'll also watch as often as she can during the time to allow all of you to have some time to rest for those who do really, really need it. So, as all of you get ready to head to sleep, Asa will take one of the watches. So we have Lady Flint and Oyvind. So we need the 2 watches. For the second watch, Asa can take that.
I can do it.
Okay, so Zamir and Asa. Yes. And then that means we'd have Oyvind and Lady Flint on the first one. Cool.
As Torin is walking by Alec, he's just gonna look at her and go, You good?
Oh, yes. I am good.
Well, you were like huge.
It was the best thing I think I've experienced in quite some time.
Hey, do you guys want to see something funny?
Hens? Oh, yes.
I'm gonna do, just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna do reduce on Alec.
Alex shrinks down to like 3.5 feet tall. Her voice gets like 2 pitches higher.
It's a con save if she's not willing, but halfling Alec.
You can
Hilarious.
see her like look at her arms and her little muscles.
Oh, darling, you're just the cutest.
The funniest part is, Alec, you're still just as
afraid.
strong as you were.
Still terrified.
He's still holding that sword. What the actual fuck?
No, it shrinks
What
with
are you
her.
doing with such ease?
It shrinks with her. She does a D4 less.
Oh.
Sad.
Alex just holding a short sword now, pretty much.
I don't think I like this.
I'll drop concentration.
Okay. Alec, you grow back. Your stomach feels a little funny, Alec, after being enlarged and then shrunk.
Torin
You
looks
guys
at
can lay down.
Lady Flynn and goes, Oh, do me. Me next.
Oh, okay. I have to upcast it. But it's a good use of my spell slot, so I feel, do I get anything from it? Oh no, okay, I'm just gonna shrink Torin. Make him a little
I
lizard.
don't know how to do his voice small. Oh, hey, everyone.
It's just
Hi.
Kermit the Frog!
There's a Muppet here.
Everyone. Hi.
Is it easy being gold? Is it?
This is amazing. Okay, I think I'm done.
Waka waka waka.
Okay, now I'm out of spells.
Oh, that was weird.
Okay, I'll drop.
I think Varnas like passes out like 10 seconds after laying down, by the way.
Varnas,
Like,
you
if
have such
that-
a weird dream about this green creature made of felt just like dancing around you and clapping its hands.
God.
Okay. Alrighty. So with that, the rest of you settle into your rests. Luckily, at least through the first and second watch, nothing happens. You seem to have sort of cornered the market in this side of the mountain where
Like,
you've
this is
killed
our home
everything.
now.
Yeah.
Doggo is disturbed.
Doggo just sat there and watched like a good
Like,
boy.
Alec literally could have rode Doggo as a mount.
Oh.
Oh my god. Oh,
I
man.
need fan art of this little chibi Alec.
River!
Gemma.
Gemma! Someone!
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Worth it.
Amazing. So with that, Oyvind, Lady Flint, is there anything the two of you would talk about on your watch, or are you just kind of going through the motions?
Flint is still kind of feeling everyone out, and she would make like small talk and conversation, but she wouldn't really push on much if he didn't.
Yeah, I think the exhaustion from the
Mhm.
fight would definitely make Oyvind a little bit more lethargic when it comes to talking. So he would enjoy the silence, the lack of sounds of battle, it would commend and say nice affirmations to Lady Flint. You're quite impressive.
Oh, I know. You are as well. I like the little party you summoned.
Well, I cannot do that often, and I felt the need was apparent.
Yeah, it was very fun.
Yes. Oh. I am of the old times and the old nations and the old ways. So to see something so elegant as firearms and explosions and what'd you call it? Tequila?
Tequila.
Ah,
I can't remember if I mended tequila after the dragon fight, but in case I didn't, I'm gonna do it during the rest. It only
Oh,
takes
yeah.
a minute.
well, we are fortunate to have you here.
I feel fortunate that you all took me with you. Because I had been there for a while and they weren't sure what to do with me.
Well, that's bureaucracy for you.
To be fair, I'm sure a lot of people don't know what to do with me.
And how did you get here?
Long story. Running through my life in the fire plane, got separated, figured my group and I, if we all went in different directions, we couldn't all be chased. Found a portal and took my chances and came out where I did.
Fascinating. Do you miss it? Before, I'm sure things went wrong.
Oh, the fire plane is a dreadful place. I miss my friends. But I've had some contact with them, but they wouldn't allow them to come get me because of the location is so secretive. I was neither allowed to leave on my own because it would be certain death, and they wouldn't tell me to tell my friends how to come get me. So I was just kind of stuck and waiting and getting increasingly pissy about it.
So, after the Phoenix, we could take you somewhere where you could meet with your friends.
I think that's the plan, and my lot have a ship. They'll be able to make it to New Efera in no time, and there's plenty of things for someone like me to do while I wait.
Plenty of good you could do in New Efera, no doubt.
Not as much as this lot did, I'm sorry to say, but I have tricks up my sleeve.
That was then, and I'm sure the now is very apparent of a consistent need. You seem capable and kind under a rough exterior. I appreciate that.
I am not native, but I feel a certain, not necessarily a kinship, but an understanding with these people.
There's a survival aspect to it, isn't there? Fight,
Yeah.
flight, or hide.
Yeah. I'm just not good cooped up in one place, so it's good to stretch the legs.
Well, the world out there is fascinating, full of wonders, and I'm sure troubles as well, which you won't have too much trouble finding your way out of.
No. I feel very good about my chances.
Good.
But as a fire genasi, I will admit for a while there, I felt like they were going to try to make me stay. They weren't unkind to me, but they have a certain veneration for my people, such as they are. I was getting mild conversion vibes. They weren't unkind, and I was, perhaps, in the end, but shit happens.
Very well.
I'm not meant to be tied down.
To each their own, as it were.
For a bard, you strike me as the opposite, as someone just looking for a place to take root.
I have roots. A wonderful village I am a Jarl to. But I needed to spread out. My daughter is missing. Her sword was found near this place. She is my world in the future of Albjord. If she wishes to make it her future.
Well, I'm about to make a joke, but it would feel in poor taste now.
Honestly, vibe how you vibe.
Well,
The vibrations of a lute. It's reference there.
I have a feeling you have a good chance of finding your daughter. These people can seem to do anything.
I'll find her and then I am sure I'll be off. These people are great, wondrous adventurers. Don't think they'll have much need of me afterward. We have our own ways.
Even Torin? I've been kind of running a vibe check on you two, trying to figure it out. I thought you were lovers, but I'm starting to go back on that one.
Yes, Torin needs a family. I unfortunately cannot bring him that. I brought him friendship for the time that it lasted and assistance in battle, but I'm afraid there's a distance. I know things about his secrets, and that can be tough baggage to hold. And that can often divide and push people away. You will be fine. Him, Alec, Vaughn asked for a bit and seems to be taking a quick liking to you and Zamir. They'll all be fine.
Doesn't seem to be a lot of malice in him. I think he'll make friends wherever he goes.
Indeed. It is one of his strengths, besides his actual physical strength.
It was funny when he was tiny, though, right?
He liked it too much, so it was less funny because he was enjoying the joke, but his laughter will be something that I will miss when I am gone.
Does he know you're leaving?
No. I'm afraid none of them do.
It's a secret, then, I suppose.
Secrets it is.
I will toast him from my wineskin.
He will pull out some ale and offer it to you and drink and enjoy the silence of the rest of the moments.
She'll offer her what's basically like she's probably got like a skin of like some fire plane fuck
Jesus.
you up fire whiskey. It's not for everyone, but
It
it is
is
kind of a
rude.
bucket list.
It is rude to not accept gifts from others. So I will humbly accept and hope that I can hold to your standards. And he'll take a swig of this fire genasi.
From the fire plane.
Yeah. And this is how Oyvind dies. Here we go.
Yeah, so Oyvind obviously has lived in Albior in the Western Salamander, so drinking is something he's familiar with. This is a little different. I'll leave it up to you if you think that he needs to make a con saving throw, or if he's just in a lot of pain, excuse me. It's one or the other, though. Okay.
I'm rolling because the dice.
Respectable. Your eyes might water a bit. Ears poke a little. Clears the sinuses, though, right?
Well, fuck.
Big pat on the back, like, yep, he's one of mine now.
Oyvind will gleefully enjoy the rest of his shift before falling asleep at the fire.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Lady Flint, Oyvind, both of you eventually do wake up the next two people, which would be Zamir and Asa. And Torin does stir a little bit as he also wants to help out on the second watch with Zamir and Asa. So, Oyvind, Lady Flint head to sleep. Zamir, Asa, and Torin, the watch is yours. Is there anything you'd like to talk about between the three of you?
I would say that Torin is gonna wake up slowly after they're already awake for like a couple minutes, and just kind of sit up, and look over. Oh, hi.
Hello.
Can I join you guys?
It's a free, looks around, desert?
Okay, good.
Asa will shrug and nod, like, yeah, sure.
He gets up and walks over. Oh, by the way, nice to actually meet you, Mr. What was your name again? I'm sorry.
It's, Zamir Casario, darling.
Well, it's nice to finally meet you. I've heard stories and they've talked about you a little bit.
If it's a good one, it was definitely me. If it's bad, it's someone else, another purpose evening.
Oh, okay. Thanks for, well, I guess showing up and
Well, I mean, there's only so many wine casks in Emerald Study, so I have to turn up at some point, I suppose.
I keep hearing this Emerald person. I don't mean to pry or anything. I mean, I've heard about them. Who are they?
I truly do not have enough wine to go down that conversation this evening, darling.
That's fair.
Um,
Do you have any wine?
I mean, maybe. And he will just rummage in the bag of holding and just pull out whatever bottle comes to hand.
There's a nice 1840 Tarkirian wine that you got in there. That's it's aged a decent amount, and that's probably pretty okay. Not the best bottle you have in there, but it's all right.
Oh, well, the trick is with these, you don't want them too cold. They need to breathe little, and he'll just flip off the cork, and then just kind of like warm his hand, I guess, and just be like, I mean, granted, I act like I really care about the quality, but the reality is I'm just going to swig this out of the bottle any moment. Chin chin, and takes a big swig and hands it to Torin.
He'll raise his glass for like a small toast. So whatever happened today, and well, I guess whatever's going to happen tomorrow. Take a swig.
You, darling, do you care for some wine?
No, there is a wine is not something I am too familiar with. It is an alcoholic beverage, correct?
Before she finished the term alcoholic beverage, he goes, "I've got some whiskey." Oh. I would like to offer you water, but he opens his water skin and pours it, and it's just more wine.
We typically, well, we're not too familiar with wine. Something like a mead is something closer to what we have. Is there a difference between the two?
I mean, they're both sweet in their own regard. Mead's a bit too sweet. It's also a bit heavier. I find I can drink about triple the amount of this stuff, whereas mead and stout and ale and it fills you up and you just feel shit. Where's this? Ugh. And he'll like literally as he's talking, just topping up Torrance like glass. It's wonderful
thank
stuff.
you. I prefer mead and ale over wine, but I'll take whatever alcoholic beverage is given to me.
I am just curious.
As she'll like take out a small like mug that she has from her pouch, and we'll let you fill it up with wine. But she'll say,
I suppose I have to ask. For us, we drink in celebration of holidays or events. What are the two of you celebrating?
Life.
I mean, the party, and darling, I'm here.
So,
life in Zamir is what we're celebrating.
So, Asa's eyes kind of narrow at you, Zamir.
Are you just trying to give yourself an excuse to drink whenever you want?
Now that is a very personal attack, and I will add, incredibly unfounded. Any of my closest friends would confirm. I only drink in select circumstance. Of course, you can't ask them as they're asleep, but they would confirm, I assure you.
We could wake them up.
No, they need
No,
their
I
rest.
was
Torin.
just going to say that I think that's a brilliant idea.
And she's gonna sort of toast to you,
To Zamir.
and she'll take a drink.
If it wasn't clear, it was total bullshit, and I think it's a brilliant idea too.
She'll laugh at that. And this is very odd for you, Torin, because when you first met this lady, she and all of her soldiers had
Yeah.
15 arrows pointed at the party. And now she's laughing. And you make a small realization that these people are still just people.
I can't believe that I guess, lived.
I'll be honest. I tend to have a slight lucky streak, if I'm being clear. I mean, besides the part where I appeared and became one with the and just looks at the stain on his boot. Him.
Yeah, you still have a little. I didn't want to say anything, but there's a little bit on your jacket.
Oh.
The cloak, this one small bone chip, the collar of the cloak kind of flicks the bone chip off.
It's fine. Morganics will fix it soon. It's fine. But,
So, you were close with this Morganix as well?
As close as can be. I mean, not like that, although a
Yeah, she does kind of
although a succubus version of her did try something, although that was trying to kill me.
What?
What?
Just that normal, nightly thing. Just a typical Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Wow. I am. Ever since I've been traveling with this party, it's been so fun, and weird things have been happening. This all makes sense. Everything you're saying, by the way.
Somebody just goes, yeah. Just takes a big gulp.
By the way, where's Minerva?
I would say that she probably, with Alec being asleep and you waking up, she probably would have nestled up on your shoulder, Torin.
Minerva's on my shoulder currently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take some food, and I don't know what Minerva eats, but whatever Minerva eats, Torin's going to feed it.
Yeah, I'm sure that you would have been able to find a collection of small snacks and treats, rations that you could feed. Minerva, as you feed her, kind of gives out a small chows down.
Torin's just going to kind of slightly whisper and go, "We're getting close. Don't worry."
Minerva will nestle her head into your head.
By the way, where's the heart of the dragon?
Think Lady Flint has it.
Yeah, I have it in the world's largest specimen jar.
I mean, as long as it's away from me. I have experiences with entrails. And it's...
Yeah, I saw you use some magic to kind of clean yourself up. You wouldn't mind doing it to this, would you? He's not wearing armor right now. He's gonna pull his chest plate over, and it's just covered in blood and guts.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, just excuse me one moment. And you will hear Zamir just kind of step behind the rock, just walk over here and just pull up his cloak to his mouth and just scream a muffled scream.
Torin looks at Asa. Did I do something wrong?
And with that, Zamir walks back and she just shrugs.
Just I'm going to not look.
You don't. If this is too much,
No.
it's fine. I can clean it.
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Oh.
But I'm going to close my eyes. Just touch it to my hand, and just not the fucking minging part. Just.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
You're sure?
No.
I can clean it. Look, we just met and I don't want to be too much. I'm sorry if this is kind of making you uncomfortable.
I like to be clean.
I'm so confused in this moment. Okay.
Here. Zamir, you close your eyes. I'll move your hand. I won't make you touch anything. And I tell you when to activate the magic. Teamwork.
Yes.
Okay.
And like a vacuum cleaner, just up and down the armor.
Thank you. Now my shield. No, just kidding.
Asa's just gonna give you like a hand to her throat, like, nope, not today. Let's not.
Torin is going to kind of lean in a little bit and just. By the way, have you ever seen Varnas do anything like he did today?
Shit, have I?
Were you there with the Duncan thing?
No.
No, so no. And you haven't even talked about that yet. Shit, you don't even know that Duncan's okay.
I mean, I think Juanas mentioned it in very quick passing, but
yeah,
I don't. Yeah.
No. I mean, no. I've never seen that before.
It was very impressive. I don't know. I've never been around people as powerful as you all.
I mean, you've literally fucking breathed fire.
It's
pretty dope.
Thank you. I mean, I've been able to do that ever since I woke up, I guess. Been able to do it for as long as I remember. The dragon thing.
I mean, fire's pretty fucking cool.
I mean, you shot it out of your hands. I mean, that's like way
Oh,
cooler.
I can shoot it out of far more than my hands.
Really? Where? Could you teach me?
Sorry, I knew better. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think I could teach you the fire breath thing either. That's kind of something that just naturally happens. Well, maybe we should go to bed soon? No, wait. We have to stay up, right?
Yeah, I mean, why do you think?
And he'll just like reach into the bag of holding and get another bottle of wine.
Torin will kind of move his glass over, just nudging, like, please, can I have some?
This one that you grabbed is pretty much box wine.
Yeah, nice.
It's only been
Water skin
aged
wine.
for a year. Yeah, it's straight off the convenience store shelf. Okay, so with that, the rest of the three of you continue to drink a little bit or a lot of it, eventually finishing out your rest. The rest of the party would awake with the sunrise cresting through that small hole leading into the dragon's chambers. Now, there still is the question as to heading to the Phoenix and collecting those ashes, and then also the question of the 3 dragon eggs that still sit in this room. But on that note, we're going to do a quick break, and we will be right back. So we'll return at 05. So 6:05 for me, 05 for whatever you are, because we still got shit to do. No time to spare. Break time. Be back in 5 minutes. Oh no, hello, welcome. Hi there, hi, I'm so sorry. Thanks for the raid. We literally just went to a break. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for stopping by. That's so nice of you. Playing some Dungeons and Dragons, obviously. That's what it says on Twitch that we're doing. It's
Back.
Hello, we got raided by 7 people.
Hey.
As soon as we left to go on break. The Frisky Clicker was the first person to comment. That's awesome.
Does tequila get hit? Yeah, they
Being
took.
raided.
Oh.
Hello. Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did. Thanks for the raid. Yeah. I feel so bad. Oh, man. Oh, thank you, the Frisky Clicker, for the follow as well. That was very nice of you. Yeah, they in one day they killed a dragon and they freed the soul of a
Of
death
course, we get
knight.
raided while everyone's away.
I
hate
know.
that.
So I was just saying, it was like I was about to take my headphones off, and it was like, meh. Heard the explosion. Thank you, Fable42, for the raid, and thank you, Frisky Clicker, for the follow. They did that.
I just noticed Joe is responding to us in the stream, but he's muted.
Oh shit, you're right. Damn, my bad. Oh fuck.
Okay, I was still hearing the response.
I kept talking to both of you. And I was like, okay, yeah, you don't need to respond. That's all right.
That looks good for the raid.
Yeah, right. Oh god. Well, it's funny because you said, all right, I'm back. And I said, hey, we got raided. And you said, let's see, did tequila get hit? And I said, okay. All right. Oh, man. Whoops indeed. Oh god. But yeah, so I still do need to go because I still do need to get water.
Yeah, go get water.
Yeah, entertain.
We'll try.
Open mic night now.
Yep.
Can they hear us?
Yep.
Oh.
Hello, raid people.
Hi.
Raid Shadow Legends, not sponsored.
No, my artificer, their homunculus is a clockwork parrot, and his name is Tequila. Because there are some problems only tequila can solve.
Hey, tequila saved a couple of us so far.
I just
Specifically
like,
the frontliners.
Yeah, I just like that I can put her on somebody or him, or I haven't actually assigned a gender to a tequila. I don't think they're concerned with it, so it's cool. I just like that they can perch on somebody's shoulder and I can cure wounds through them. Like I can use a touch spell through them. They work the same way as like familiars do, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's hot shit.
No, I think
This is why there is no form of wizard that can heal, because if they could, they would just be broken. Oh, I need to pick my spells for the new day.
Ooh, me too.
How many spell slots do you have?
Let's see. I have 4 first and 3 second. Apparently there's a spell where I can create a library of rats. What?
Same experience at an Emily Autumn concert. That's
Should
a
I
real
take last
niche
image?
joke. Should you take what?
Last image. So the next thing we kill, I can play back the image of us killing it over and over again.
Oh my god, Alec would love that.
First level spell slots are pretty set.
I need more spells that are not concentration.
I'm
back.
Come back. We got raided.
Oh, on break.
Yeah, but we're not muted, so
Yeah.
Oh.
like, don't talk too much shit about Joe while he's getting water. What does this do? I'm choosing my spells for the day.
My favorite interaction. Torin asking if Zamir can teach him. Bring Find Steed.
And Greater Steed is one of my favorite spells.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does he have Find Speed?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, sweet.
I'm a paladin, my guy.
Yeah, I know, but you don't have to have it, prepared.
Oh yeah, I'm choosing my prepared spells right now for the next day. I'm also thinking about taking magical weapon, because then we'd have 2 people in the party that could up someone's weapon.
Oh, so many concentration spells.
Oh, I'm back.
Rah.
Are we ready? Is everybody back?
I don't know if Kayla and Eric are back.
I know
Here.
Kayla's here.
Is
There's
Ryan
Randall.
back?
Yep.
Oh,
No.
we've just been talking shit this whole time and you've been quiet, so I felt like nobody was here.
I just figured she was wondering if she could do another shot of tequila. Oh, man.
Whoops.
Ooh, let me do that real quick.
Find Steed only lasts for 10 minutes? What the fuck?
But then once it's there, isn't it there?
Test.
I don't...
Test.
Oh, casting time 10 minutes. Yes.
That makes more sense.
I might take the spell just to mess with Joe.
What you are. You are what is. You seek me.
Okay.
Okay, I am taking a long rest.
Yeah,
Yes.
me
No
too. I
better
already
early
did it.
this time.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Long rest indeed.
No death nights anymore. There's actually
Well, now,
Well, there's 9
Well-
more.
Now we know what to do with them. Like, I'm really
Okay.
curious to have like an after party explanation of how that fight could have gone.
Bad. Well, I mean, she mentioned that the chief had tried killing him before, but it seemed
Yeah.
like just killing it was not the way to permanently dispel it. You know?
Yeah,
Right call.
Without saying too much, it was for the lower its HP got, the easier dispelling the curse would have been. It's just that Varnash rolled really, really, really high on that. I thought I had like brackets for how many hit points it had left, and I think the DC was 28 for how many hit points it had left.
damn.
Like 27 or 28, yeah.
It's a good thing that Jamie gave me that bend luck then, because otherwise
Yeah.
I would not have made it. Would have barely missed it.
Well, shit.
Yeah. All right. Eric.
Yep, I'm
Okay.
back.
All right. So we're already back because we got raided partway through our break, so I just went back live again. So we're gonna go ahead and just dive right back into the session. So picking up where we left off, our group of adventurers had found themselves within the Dragon's Den inside the bloody Mesa. They had come to this Dragon's Den in search of a couple of things. For one, they needed the heart of a dragon, and they also needed the ashes of a phoenix. The reason they needed these two things is because they were told these are the two material components that were necessary to be able to perform a ritual to return their friend, Morganix, to return her body,
Why
recreate
you say
it.
it like that? Friend? Like, why the hesitation?
Because in
Best
my brain, I couldn't decide between companion, friend, or best friend. I don't know.
Companion
Uh,
friend.
Companion
Their
friend. Their mother.
Nanny.
Mom.
Their nanny, yeah. They're Mrs. Doubtfire.
I mean, she definitely has felt that way a time or two.
It just depends how high Alec is. That's really what the and if
What do you
and how drunk Cyrus is and how drunk Zamir is and how high Alec is. That's really the determining factors. Okay, so with that, the group then realizes what they need to do. They need to head into this mountain range and kill this red dragon and find this phoenix and collect its ashes. So one of those two things is done. They were able to find that red dragon and kill it, much to the party's relief. However, after they had killed the dragon and harvested its heart ready to rest to head down to wherever the phoenix may be, they were attacked in the middle of the night by a Death Knight. The fight raged on, and while the Death Knight did make quite a few blows on the party, there was this incessant energy from the Death Knight that this was compulsion to be here, not fervor. It was something that he was required to do, not something that he wanted to do. And throughout the fight, the party was able to knock down his hit points enough, and through the skilled clerical abilities, clerical? That's like managing numbers. Through the strong divine connection that Varnast Halmaru has to his deity Estitia, he was able to break the curse, same as he had done before to Duncan, learning from things he had done in the past. So, with that, the spirit was freed, a knight of flowers, broken free from this eternal damnation held in captivity by Korvac, by extension the Dark One. And as you all awake that next morning, you can see that where you had fallen asleep on hard rocks and sand and dirt has now been transformed into luscious groves of grass and wildflowers. Life has exploded in this room, and who knows how far this life will climb. So with that, all of you wake up that morning. You ready yourselves to head to the Phoenix, but you also have the question of what to do with the 3 dragon eggs that were left in here. So, with that, I hand it off to you.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
New day. Going to fight a phoenix. Everyone
Yes.
ready?
Well, we don't know if we have to fight it yet. Let's just Cool.
Wait, you don't want to fight it?
I'm hoping we don't have to. That
we can
would.
just pluck a feather or, ask it nicely. I don't know.
I think
I mean-
it's worth talking to it to see if it would volunteer for this noble cause. I mean, they die all the time anyway.
As
I
long
mean-
as we don't disturb its eggs.
What if we ask it if it wants to fight? But no one dies except it.
Zamir just
For you.
turns the Torin and just blinks.
And is just
For
like
you.
tilting her head like a confused dog.
What? I personally, I like fighting things, and maybe we could come to some sort of arrangement with the Phoenix. Like, hey, let's do like a fair fight, see who wins. But ultimately, we need you to die.
It's not threatening at all.
I think that is a wonderful idea.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
If somebody pitched that at me in a bar, I would not at all think I was about to get trafficked.
No. Great. It's a brilliant idea, and he pats Torin. But I don't. The thing is, he's being sarcastic, but I think he's trying to make it seem sincere to Torin.
No, Torin thinks it's totally sincere. He smiles and he's like, "Thank you, Zamir."
We will
Thank you.
revisit this later. It's a
Okay, we have a
No matter
really
what, we do need to get the dust. No matter what happens. So if it comes to a fight, that's what we'll do.
By the way, whose heart's pretty? Actually, DM question: the dragon heart is huge, right? Like it's not small.
Yeah, it's very big.
Flint will just point over to her bag, which I imagine is just slowly steaming. It's in there.
It's small enough to fit in a bag.
It's a big bag.
It's a big
Yeah.
bag. I come prepared.
I could possibly help out with making that thing be less of a hindrance on us. Someone's gonna have to carry it, and it looks pretty heavy.
We can stick it in here as long as it's contained.
I'm not
Oh,
sure it's gonna fit in there.
Oh, I mean, Zamir just pulls out the bag of holding and just puts his entire arm in. So,
Flint will recognize what it is, having made a few, and pull out the world's largest specimen jar, which is like if you've ever seen an authentic Italian grandmother making tomato sauce and like a vat. All right, I've got the grease spell if it doesn't want to go in on the first try.
Dude, what about all of the gold?
I think we took care of that already, didn't we?
Yeah, we already divvied it up.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, I hope you added that to your inventory because I sure as hell don't remember the number I said.
No, I did.
It
Okay.
was a
Risk.
lot. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
lot.
but that's 4,000 gold. That's also. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Torin is like quite literally on the verge of encumbrance.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, what about the dragon eggs?
the what?
Dragon eggs are over there. See?
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
See,
that-
I have been waiting for somebody to have that reaction.
We're
Yeah.
gonna get pet dragons, right?
No.
No.
What?
No.
Oh, no.
Asa speaks up. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I could not remember her name for the life
Yeah,
of me.
it's
It's been
okay.
a while.
It's okay. If you hover over her token, her name should pop up, I think.
Oh, 2i. Well, Alec was gonna say something to her, but go ahead.
If all of you are uncomfortable with taking them, I could, after what happens with the Phoenix, me and a few others could come up here and we could potentially raise them. Use them
Oh,
as...
come on. I want a dragon egg.
And you can see her kind of, especially after sharing a drink with you last night, knowing that it would be irresponsible to let just a person have a dragon. Maybe we could name it after you?
I think it's best if you and your people look after these.
And if they start to show too much of their mother,
I think that, yes. I
Yes.
understand what you're saying.
yeah.
I mean,
I will accept naming one
Is
after
it-
me.
is it safe to just leave them here? I mean, they're fucking dragon eggs.
Alec wouldn't let me shoot them.
Perhaps.
I don't want any.
I'm just concerned if we leave and then we come back, they're not there, and it's like, oh, there's 3 red dragons in the wild.
So
These are
can you
unaccounted
send-
for.
Can you send word to your chief? That way they're not just sitting here.
I have no way to send a message, but we could
Wow,
perhaps.
this is gonna get so annoyed in
Oh,
2 seconds.
I think I could.
If worst comes to worst, we could always take the corpse of the dragon and put it on top of the eggs. It would provide enough warmth to
Oh.
the eggs. I understand that is fairly
Yeah, that's
dark.
gonna be a no from me.
Okay, yeah.
Well, isn't the right outside of here like a whole lava pit kind of thing going on?
That is true, yes.
You want to just throw them in a lava pit?
No, they need enough warmth to hatch. Look, there's only 3 eggs. There's not only 3 dragons in the world, right? There's plenty of dragons all over the place.
So are you saying that
Are there?
if there were 3 more dragons, it wouldn't be a big deal?
Very confused on what team everybody's on. Team Save the Dragons or Team.
Don't want to just kill these creatures. They haven't even had a chance yet.
Me too.
really-
I don't want to kill them either.
Joe, what do we know about dragons? Is there any chance that they actually could be like tamed, for lack of a better word,
Oh, totally.
or is that
yeah.
a terrible idea?
The thing is, there is Dragonborn. This is something that is sort of a universal cosmic fact, where the number of dragons that are chromatic and the number of dragons that are metallic, same goes for Dragonborn, are always going to be the same. They're always going to be balanced, an equal number of metallic and chromatic. But while they still do serve on their respective sides for the most part, sometimes chromatic dragons and dragonborns can shift their alignment and they can turn good or neutral. But what this ends up causing is there is this cosmic realignment of balance where then a metallic dragon or dragonborn will shift in retaliation. So it can happen, but a good chromatic dragonborn will turn a good metallic dragonborn bad.
So wait, are you saying the same thing is true of dragons?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Well, fuck. Is it like in Forgotten Realms where of the chromatics, reds are the nastiest?
Yeah, reds tend to be the most tyrannical.
Cool. Tight.
So there's a chance that they could be raised and they could be used as a very valuable asset in the many wars to come against Korvac and the Dark One. But there's also a chance that the Kasa tribes might need to cut things short should they not change. But that
Just
seems to
take
be something that
one-
Asa's willing to take under her belt.
I mean, if the tribe took possession of the eggs, for better or worse, and things started to shift to the worse, I mean, couldn't you just chuck them through the same portal I came through? They'd fit in perfectly there.
Asa will kind of look at you and nod. That is actually a really good idea.
Like, they'd be happy there, and everyone sucks there. So, win-win.
Look, again, I'm fine with the tribe taking them, but can we just send for someone to get them? I'm not cool leaving them.
What I can do is I can create a map for all of you to follow to the Phoenix, and I can go back and get people to come get the eggs.
I can cast sending to your chief. Take me 2 minutes.
Oh, that would be
Problem solved.
good.
All right, give me a second. He'll cast sending. Dragon is dead. So is the Death Knight. There are 3 dragon eggs here. Come get them if you want.
There is a response. That is good news. We will come to gather the eggs. Keep Asa with you. Or, no, she wouldn't have said that. Keep Asa at the eggs. There you go.
Huh. All right. They're sending people. She wants you to stay here, though. Motions over to Asa.
That makes sense. I will still make you that map so you can find your way to the Phoenix. And she'll begin to kind of take out a large piece of parchment and some charcoal and start to sketch out
Torin
map.
is going to, like a little kid, look towards Alec, and Varnas, and Ovind with like a pouty face. Like, can't just take one?
Don't these things weigh like a ridiculous amount or something?
Yeah, each dragon egg is about 75 pounds.
I have means to bring it with us. I promise.
Warren, I think this is for the best.
Oh man.
Alec will pat him on the back.
I wanted a dragon.
But
We'll
at
make it
least
up to
got
you.
Kill one. That was
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, I did get to kill a dragon.
And she'll keep patting his back.
Okay. But at some point I want a dragon, okay?
I will remember this. Maybe people give gifts at. There's this winter thing people do, and they give presents.
They give dragons?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Alec will give him a really big smile.
Okay, I'm gonna get a dragon.
I think we should get moving.
Buddy. Okay. Alrighty. So with that, Asa stays by the eggs to keep an eye on them. And the rest of you...
They're gonna hatch while she's alone and just devour her.
Oh man, that would be upsetting. Alrighty. So with that, you all head back into the mountains themselves, surrounded by the broiling brimstone and lava. The heat absolutely ridiculously intensified down here.
I'm fine.
Yes, you and Torin
too.
both are, and Zamir with your fire resistances. Not
And
having-
Varnest.
And Varnest, yeah.
Just
And
Alec.
just
And
Alec
Ovind.
and Oyvind are just... Ooh.
A little spicy down here.
It is a little spicy, yep. So,
Flint is gonna create like a protective balm really quick and put it on Doggolin's foot pads.
Aw, he will appreciate it.
he was kind of doing that thing where he would like pick up one and kind of shake it a little bit and set it down and shake it. Yeah, but with that
Yeah.
appreciative.
Joe, as the party is kind of leaving, Torn's gonna stay back for. He's gonna be like, "I'll be right there, guys." He's not getting the eggs, I promise, guys. He's going to cast Find Steed.
Okay, alrighty. So you take the 10 minutes to do so. As you go through the motions of casting the spell. When Torin casts Find Steed, what does that look like?
He's going to, in the dirt, just like draw a horse and then just like wipe it away, and then draw like a dog and then wipe it away, and then draw like an elk and then wipe it away. And he's like, "Oh, this is hard." And he's just gonna close his eyes and draw, and then he's gonna place his hands on it, and then his hand starts to glow, and then both hands, and then he's gonna lift his hands up, and as he lifts his hands off the ground,
Please let it be an emu.
the steed starts to, whatever it is, starts to materialize.
Yeah. And you can see this ethereal creature begin to form and gain composition, shifting from these dull golds and greens, the energy compiling and swirling, till eventually it grows and grows and grows until it is a longer form than a horse and a little bit lower to the ground. But you can see these 4 legs and long neck and long lizard-like tail at the end. But the creature, as it stands there, has a friendly look to its face, almost a smile. And Torin, you get excited due to its lizard-like appearance, but there's no wings. As you see something similar to what I just put in memes and art. It's almost like a giant leopard gecko that is just like...
Oh my god!
So
It's so
cute.
with the fat tails.
Yep.
Can you show it on screen?
Oh. Hi. I have a telepathic link to this thing. I don't know if
Yes.
it can talk.
Mhm.
Telepathic link.
You speak to it.
You chubby boy.
Hello.
Oh, 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 this is amazing. I'm Torin. What's your name?
Torin?
No, I'm Torin.
Hmm.
We'll work on it. I hate to do this to you, but we gotta catch up with the rest of everyone else. Oh, wow. And he's gonna get on top and as he's like kind of running down, catching up, he's like, "Hey, everyone, look!" As he's running down on this lizard.
Yeah, and this lizard does have a, so it's got a 40-foot movement speed and a 40-foot climb speed. So it's able to like climb up on the side of walls and like scoot down and like immediately like run past some of you. As you can see Torin riding on this, like was said in there, very much like what Obi-Wan rides in Revenge of the Sith, the Varactals. It makes the whoop noise as it's like running down.
Wow. Where did you find him?
What happened to our mounts that Morganix and Alec bartered for? Y'all still have those?
Did we have to leave them before we went inside the...
Correct, yeah. Duncan and Grace are currently watching over those outside of the city, or outside of the caves. They're just hanging out outside. They've been doing so for a day and a half now.
Torin, may I pet your creature?
Yeah.
Thank you. And Alec is going to pet the lizard.
As you pet the lizard, it goes...
Alec will make the same sound back at it.
Torin will as well.
Everybody's just going... The lizard nods at you, Alec.
It's just gonna take a long drink.
You have a fine friend, Torin.
Thank you. I just never used this spell before. This is great.
I agree.
Did you it's kind of hot in here, and I know that well, you and he's gonna look at Oven and Oven, you want to ride on, I don't know their name yet, but
you hear an echo in your head, Torin.
Torin?
No, I'm Torin, as he says out loud.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
No, I was talking.
What?
Jesus Christ. What have I done? If you guys can ride them while we go through here so you don't have to walk across, well, the hot ground.
I would enjoy that. Yes.
Alec, who walks barefoot,
Yes.
going
Kinda
into
like
a half rage to avoid
that.
damage.
Yeah, Alec will pop on top.
Bop on top. Bop, bop,
Yes.
bop, bop
Very
to the top.
excitedly. And as she does, she'll give a whoop.
Whoop! It returns the wop.
Alec has the biggest grin on her face.
Oven, did you wanna? You can hop on as well.
I will enjoy this.
Come on.
Hold on 1 sec. He will put his hands on either side of this spectral beast's head and go and look deep into his eyes for a solid moment. Whoop! I have never loved anything besides my daughter this much in my life. Whoop!
Wait. What if that's his name?
My daughter? That's
No.
a very long name.
No.
Flint is going to take a longer.
What if that's his name? Whoop.
But, well, it would be saying its name quite continuously, and I don't know if people would enjoy a creature saying its name over and over again.
Nintendo disagrees with you.
That seems odd to me.
Well, we'll keep working on it. Sorry, I didn't mean to slow us down. I never used this spell before, and I really wanted a dragon, and I thought, well, I'll just try to create something.
It was very much worth the time.
Yeah, Oyvind will gleefully jump onto this beast with Alec.
Okay.
Whoop! A huge cracked smile on Oyvind's face as he is enjoying this gleeful moment of respite.
Did Jamie give up?
Did he leave? That's funny.
Jamie, come back.
Jamie, come back.
No, I feel so bad.
Oh, his net, seppuku, he says. It was his net. He's okay.
Okay, all right. I thought. Okay, all right. So, with that's so stupid. With that, Alec, Oyvind, and Whoop, all whooping, all of you head down, following Asa's map deeper into the caverns within the mountain. So, as all of you are making your way, it is, like I said before, about a 6-hour journey to get down. So is there anything that all of you would like to talk about on your way down, or are you just kind of enjoying the ride?
Whenever there's moments of silence, I'm sure you're hearing.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yes.
It's probably going to be very difficult whilst on the back of Whoop here. But there was something that Alec started to work on way back when they first camped before they started to head this way. The night that Morgonix disintegrated. So Alec is going to work on that for a little bit more.
Yeah, and much to his credit, Whoop is Whoop is he's very stable, especially when he's not rushing. He's able to kind of slowly maneuver, and you're able to have a fair bit of traction and stability in whatever you're trying to do.
It's not great, but it's Alec trying. So, but other than that, nah, she's pretty focused on this.
Okay, sounds good. So with
Can Oyvind witness this? Is it apparent that she's writing?
Yeah, I mean, she's not trying to hide it by any means necessary. It's just
Due to the fact that they're both on this.
yeah. You're probably like behind her, and she is pretty hunched over, and just you can see her holding this piece of charcoal like with a fist, rather than how you're actually probably supposed to be holding a pencil charcoal thing, and she's like really focused, and every now and then she will scribble out what you think is supposed to be a letter, and then she'll start over with a new letter entirely. but she's trying really hard. You can't really make out what it is she's writing, but you can tell she's writing.
You know, like, subtly, what Oyvind will do is that he will, like, wave his hand gently to the right in a scooping motion and cast Prestidigitate and clean the pages when Alec is most frustrated and grinding into it to kind of clear the page to give them another start. And then eventually he will, like, whisper in his ear that, in Alec's ear, you know, the words from the heart are the ones that will mean the most. And he will, even though this is just RP, give some bardic inspiration to Alec for writing this.
My soul. You can see for a moment when her letters are like magically cleaned up. She's a little confused, but she kind of glances over her shoulder. Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's not that I don't know what to say, it's... She didn't get to teach me everything before it happened. And there's just some of them, the shapes I just can't make yet.
Well,
But I just want it to be perfect. You know?
that is the beauty of handwriting. It is never perfect. And everyone's handwriting is unique to them.
Alec looks at the paper in front of her. Yeah. You're right. And she kind of gives a small smile.
And though she didn't give you, unfortunately was not able to continue, she is the one that started all this and motivated you to begin writing. I think there's a lot in that.
Yeah, she was teaching me. You see, I have to do this, I suppose, trial soon. And there are just some things as chief I should probably be able to do. But writing in common was not at the phrase, not at the top of my list. But she was helping me do that.
I laugh and jest because I, as Jarl, had people to do that for me. I was never good at it. The wielding of blades and the gesturing for spells, easy, fluid motions. But circling into an E or a C, it would look crooked or shifted. It would not look eloquent, as it were. But it is the words that you write that matter more than the presentation of them.
Right. That makes sense.
If you wish, I could help you. I'm an old man and not too great at writing myself, but I understand a leader's intuition when it comes to writing.
And you can see she looks back at the paper. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I think what you said is right. It is the words that matter most, and I think it's up to me to find the right words.
If one gesture of gratitude towards you and your skills, I could show you my handwriting and you probably would feel much better about yourself.
She will hand you a blank piece of paper and charcoal.
Terrible, jarring, hard letters, pokes a hole through the paper.
Yes, makes it
Just
feel much better instantly.
very aggressive. It is unclear whether or not he is purposely doing this or this is his natural handwriting.
Yeah, you can see she's trying not to grin, but she's grinning despite herself. Okay, I think...
That looks like whoop. That does not look like a letter.
Whoop.
Whoop.
I think I can do this. Thank you, Oyvind. I appreciate the kind words.
It's my pleasure. You are a great warrior, a kind friend. And though I have not seen your skills of leadership, I believe you have that as well.
She nods and turns back around and gives it another shot to keep writing.
Okay. Yeah. So
I forgot at the beginning of the day to roll for my experimental elixirs.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to do that right now.
Okay.
It's Red Bull, and
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. All right. So
Can Torin talk with Varnas, or is this too much talking?
what? No, you're good. Yeah.
Never too much talking in
In
Efera.
Efera? Never.
Yeah, you had an hour of
Playing a
combat at the
role-playing
beginning.
game.
That means the next 12 hours of game are going to be talking only. All right. Yeah, go ahead. So as you're walking, you two are both walking, not on the lizard. So yeah, it'd be a little bit easier to sort of pull them off.
Torin's gonna walk up to Varnas and say, "Hey, how you feeling after yesterday?"
Oh, much better. It's amazing what a good 8 hours of sleep does to the body after being cut, blown up, burned. It's like nothing happened. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Almost unnatural.
Yeah, almost. What about you?
I'm good. My armor's a little dented, and well, at least my shield and my hammer are okay. But I'm fine. We killed a dragon,
Yes, we did.
and then whatever the hell that guy was.
A hero.
Torin looks like confused a little bit as you say that. I'm conflicted.
Wow.
Well, what happened? That person, that thing, obviously meant us harm. But you did something that released him? I'm curious how and what you did.
There are magics that can bind in different ways. And he kind of motions over to like Lady Flint. You saw her use magic to change Alec. It can be something that is done of free will and good and kindness. And then there are others with far more nefarious intentions who use it to subject and harm. We had a friend who died some time ago, and Korvac eventually took control of his corpse. When we found him again, I was able to use the same spell to remove the curse from his body and brought him back to us.
Oh.
I used the same spell on the knight back there, just a little bit more potent this time.
Is that something that you learned?
Yes, it was a gift from Mysticia, as are all my abilities.
Right. Yeah, you have a pretty strong connection.
She has been my best friend for as long as I can remember.
Is it weird to not know where your magic really comes from?
I don't really know if I'm the person to ask that, to be honest. I've always known where the source of mine came from, but I can't say that that's what happens for all.
Right. I don't really understand magic entirely. I know I can do it, and I know I've used it, but more... My magic's more aggressive. Used to hurt people, mostly.
I feel like you're dancing around the question you really want to ask.
I'm not good with questions. Is this magic something you could teach me?
I don't know. Never really tried to teach someone magic before. And again, it doesn't really come from me. It comes from Mysticia herself, so...
If you try to teach me, would I have to pledge to Asticia?
Varnas kind of thinks about it. I mean, at least her ideologies.
What are those?
That those who live should live a life of peace and freedom. That those who travel the calm waters remain on the calm waters. But to those that would seek to harm the good people, then the storm falls upon them.
Sounds really cool, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
I have a vague connection with... And he's gonna pull out this like necklace of Bahamut with this. But do you talk to your god?
Oh, frequently. She
Really?
doesn't always have conversations with me back. She's occupied elsewhere at times, but anytime I've really needed her, she's always made the time.
I've figured since I'm, well, Dragonborn, and I am metallic, that I should have this connection with Bahamut. I've never heard from them, and I don't think that's where I get my powers from. I don't really know what I was trying to ask you. But you, please don't say this to anybody else, seem like the most powerful in the group. Especially when it comes to things like magic. And I want to learn how to use mine better and to help people.
Varnas will kind of lift a hand, like put it on Torrin's shoulder. I can't promise you anything, but I will do what I can. You should ask Zamir as well, though. Trust me, if you think my magic's impressive, wait till you see more of him.
Yeah, he can kind of do the same thing I can, except out of his hands.
Oh, tip of the iceberg, my friend. Tip of the iceberg.
Really?
You
Yep.
saw only a small fraction of what Zamir Casario is capable of.
He's so small.
I mean, that's the thing about magic, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Did you use that spell on me the other night?
This is Ryan thinking back. I think that's the spell I tried to use. Is that right, Joe?
Which
is that
one?
What I tried to do?
Greater
Did
Restoration?
I try to remove curse?
Oh, remove curse. Yeah, you tried Lesser Restoration.
Oh.
Oh,
I don't
okay. No,
It was remove curse.
I
Okay.
don't remember. It's been like 2 months. Okay, but Joe thinks it was lesser restoration, so no, I did not try that on you. What, you want me to?
I haven't had a chance to talk with Ovind. And I don't know when I'm going to. It's like, for some reason, there really hasn't been a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you kind of know, and I don't. From the other night, something is inside me. And worth a shot, I guess, if you're comfortable with it.
I mean, I can do it right now if you want.
He looks back at everyone. Gonna hurt.
What?
Is it gonna hurt?
Farnash shrugs.
Okay,
Never done
yeah.
it myself before. Hope not.
I mean, yeah, sure. Try it. If you
Alright.
want.
Farnash will take his hand, place it against Torin's chest, and he will attempt to cast Remove Curse.
Yeah, go ahead and make a spell attack.
Okay. That's pretty good. That's a 23.
23. Varnast, you and Torin both see the same thing. As Varnast, you discharge that magical energy into Torin's chest. You don't feel anything break. You don't feel the repulsion of or repulsion of energy like you did before. What you feel instead is a chip, a break, a small sliver of a crack begin to form. As Torin and Varnast both, there is this flood of imagery that comes to your head. Spurting blood. Corpses littering the ground. A whirlwind of weaponry. You can see what looks to be a banner jammed into a muddy, bloody battlefield. The banner, Varnast, you would recognize of that of the Golden Shields. As you look down at your hands, whatever hands they may be, you see metallic, scaled hands, bloody claws, carnage. Immediately, there is this inhale that both of you have to take as you had held your breath, feeling that surge of memory. As you both sort of shake and look at each other.
Well,
Horns is like, his eyes are wide open, and he's just like he's not really not looking at Varnas. He's kind of looking off. He stopped moving.
Varnas kind of like gives like a little bit harder than like a tap, but kind of like pats his face like, hey.
Blinks and kind of holds his head. Oh, sorry, I spaced out there.
Did you recognize anything?
Hi, Joe.
Torn, did you? You saw what you saw, Torn. It is familiar to you, but different. When you woke up, you were definitely in a different place. That was nowhere near where you would have woken up. But, so while you don't recognize the place per se, you do recognize the general vibe of the area.
And I assume I recognize the hands.
Yeah, they're your hands.
Feel like I've been Saul. Like, not specifically there. But those were my hands. There's a very, on the jovial face that is usually Torn, a very stern look of concern.
Are you afraid?
Not afraid of much. But yes. This.
What are you afraid of exactly?
That going to end up hurting someone.
Do you want to hurt people?
No. Only those that would hurt my friends.
Then don't. Trust me. I have spilled blood all across the sea. Killed more men than I can keep track of. But your past, that's not who you are. At most, that's who you were. And the fact that you are scared, that you are worried about hurting someone, that should be more than enough to tell you that you're not them anymore. It's up to us to decide if we're going to be better or not. And there's nothing about you that tells me that you don't want to be the best version of you that you can be. I think that's all you want.
Want to do good in the world. But
I believe you.
last night, that thing that attacked us, he didn't want to, right?
No, he did not.
What if that happens to me?
I already told you. I won't kill you. But I'll figure out how to help you. Everyone here would do the same.
Thank you.
Let's once we finish this ritual of Morganics, let's talk more, okay?
Can we keep this between us?
I don't know what you're talking about. He just kind of smiles a little bit.
Thank you. And he's going to like pat Varnas on the shoulder and then look back and whoop.
Whoop! Whoop, whoop. Immediately,
Right.
whoop. He makes his way up to where you are.
No, I used thaumaturgy to say whoop instead.
Whoop.
Nice.
All right.
Jamie came back to where he left off.
I mean,
No, Jamie, no. I like that from Jamie's perspective. We never stopped saying whoop.
Yeah, we've been saying whoop for an hour.
I wonder.
I did have one other thing before we got to the Phoenix.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it. Go for it. I was just gonna change where the server was located.
Cool. Those potions that we found in the Dragon's Lair, who has them?
Lady Flint, I think.
Hello.
Jamie.
We're done whooping, I promise.
We're done. Yeah.
Like 90% sure she distributed those.
I was fine with it, but my internet wasn't.
Okay, yeah, we need to.
Your internet rebelled.
Yeah, we need to respect Jamie's internet's opinions. So, I think that she gave. Well, I think she kept the giant strength one.
No, I wouldn't have done that.
Because I know you had. I listened to the end of the session again, and you made the comment about how you were going to let Alec and Torin fight over it, but neither one of them took it. So I think that she was like, "Hey, anybody want this?" And nobody responded.
Yo, I'll take it.
Okay,
so
Alec will
it's in party bag right now.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
we
say
can party
Torin's not
back
gonna. Torin's not gonna fight for that one. Alec's much stronger than Torin. So.
Okay. So Alec, I'll go ahead and add that to your inventory.
Oh, bless.
Unless we're talking about, oh my God, arm wrestling.
Hey, man, that was one time.
Let's run it back then.
Bet.
I said it was Cloud Giant, right? It was 26 was what it was.
Yeah, it was like the best one.
Oh, 27. No, Storm Giant is 29. This is 27.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to add that
It was
to your
like the
inventory.
second best one you can get.
And then
Nice.
Potion of Flying. Who would that one go to?
I guess me, right? Or did Lady Flint give me that one?
I didn't keep any of them, so I don't think I kept any of them.
Well, did Lady Flint create a potion of flight? 'Cause I had it
that's
written
gone.
down.
That one's gone now. It only lasts a day.
Oh, okay. So I don't have the potion of flying. I just had the potion. I had the potion of flight from Lady Flint. Okay.
Right, but you could have it if you wanted it.
I mean, I am a dragon.
Yeah.
Um,
Because she didn't keep any of them. I didn't add any of them to my inventory. She just identified everything.
I'm guessing none of us did because we didn't decide who would take them.
I
I
think
mean, I'll take the giant one, and Torin, if you want to have the fly.
I also added the Potion of Longevity to your inventory, Varnas, because I think someone gave that to you as a joke.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the one we're actually about to have a conversation about real quick.
Okay.
Well, so can Zamir actually cast fly on himself?
My
Cloak does it, right?
Flies. I can just fly whenever I want.
What about Ovim?
I can cast fly on anyone.
What about Lady Flint?
No, but she wouldn't take it. She doesn't need it.
I'm just saying, I think flight would be best on the ranged people because they.
Oh.
Well, if you do have to fight a phoenix, you might not want to be stuck to the ground.
That's true.
You know what, John? You take it. I insist.
Stop
agree.
being
John, it's
so
yours.
nice, John. God, just take the potion.
Okay, fine. I'm taking the potion. Stop. Jeez.
Okay. All right. Potion of flight, Torin. Potion of Cloud Giant Strength, Alec. Potion of Longevity. In the mystical land of in between, as Varnast goes to approach somebody to talk to them.
So, I mean, he'll just like pull it out from like the bag of like wherever we were keeping it,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll kind of look at it. He'll just kind of look around the group. Anyone care if I keep this?
You just saved the soul of a lost individual. I think whatever you want is yours.
I mean, we all did our part on that, but thank you.
You deserve it, Varnast.
I mean, yeah, you did kind of save us all.
All right. Varnas is uncump at all the praise.
You're the best.
No, stop.
You're wonderful.
No.
You are the
Like
strongest
all of
Avenger.
us.
Darling, you look so uncomfortable. Should I make some jokes about stamina?
Nah, he runs, he dashes to the Phoenix.
Full
And that-
sprinting the whole way.
And
In
that's
full
how.
play mail, I'll take 4 points of exhaustion.
Varnas, we have like 3
Conversation.
hours left. Please don't run.
Do it.
At least take Whoop with you. Jeez.
Whoop.
Whoop. Okay. Oh, Jamie, I'm sorry.
No, you promised.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I can't stop
Where
the
There
whoop.
goes Jamie's internet. There we go.
No.
Damn it.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah,
So with,
Varnas will just pocket that.
okay. So with that, all of you make your way throughout the rest of the cave system.
As we are walking, though, at some point in the day, I will pull out one of my flasks and offer around the fire plane beverage. I'll say it's a bit hard to pronounce the primordial name if you're not used to the language, but the translation is somewhere along the line of Tears of the Efriti Fire Maiden.
Ooh, I want some.
Varnas says it back in primordial.
Oh, very good. You've got a bit of an accent.
Yeah, I've been told that. I'm a little under the weather today.
Yeah, Flint will pass the flask around just for the amusement of seeing who can handle it and who can't.
Torn immediately drinks it.
Torrin, you have no problem with it.
Can I like blow like a little tiny like fire smoke out?
Yeah, there's like literal smoke that starts pouring out of your nose.
Ooh, this is good.
I know, right?
Now I'm gonna
Doing-
go put baby to bed. Be right back.
Doing worse than before. Yeah. Oh, it gets. Oh, I'm be slouching on this thing.
Alec will try it.
Yeah.
Can I roll a Constitution, Joe?
Yeah, Alec will need to make a Constitution saving throw. Her proficiency in illicit substances is Pitus, not spicy alcohol.
Let's see, I rolled a 5.
I got an 18 if I needed to roll. I wasn't sure.
Oh yeah, probably for the best. Yeah.
Please, for flavor.
14!
14. Alec. It's not great. It's like when you take like oh god, what are the Altoids that are like the cinnamon flavor? If you were to take like 10 of those and just put them in your mouth at the same time, like, and then a couple of Red Hots too, that's kind of what you're feeling right now.
She like hands it back, and like her eyes are watering. The first time I tried Pitus, my lungs were on fire. And this is worse. Ever again. But thank you. It was very kind.
He's going to sleep.
She wipes her
Later.
tears away.
Wait, did Alec not hold her drinking?
Oh, she
That's
did.
not-
She's just
She
eyes
did.
are watering.
It's hurt.
Okay. All right.
Devar, Samir?
I mean, you know the answer.
I think he's saying yes.
Okay. So
Zamir
I would.
has a proficiency in drinking.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
there's no need for a check from Zamir. I think that your liver.
Goggles it like mouthwash.
Yeah. Zamir, this is some good shit. Like, this is really good. And Varnest, you could also admire the taste. It is very aggressive in terms of its spiciness and its heat that it delivers on, but it's still very good. Both of you would be able to recognize that.
Nice.
Where where can I get this?
The fire plane.
Okay, but where locally?
Oh. I guess you need to find a trader dumb enough to come through in 4. think some of my friends brought a few more back, but they came through in different places.
Excuse me.
I'm going to find more of this.
Oh no.
Servants used to give it to me as a child if I had a cold.
Literally, Cyrus is like the dean in community. I hope this doesn't awaken anything inside of me.
It clears the sinuses.
Okay. So, no sinus left. So with that, all of you can
honestly
continue on your way
and roller
throughout the mountain passes till eventually there's something odd that happens where the smoky toxicity that is the volcanic rock and gaseous volcanic energies, it begins to transition, and there is this freshness to the air, as if you had just stepped into a forest, but with this hint of spice and cinnamon. You see vines and leaves growing all along the ceiling of the caverns. Small bushes, but not normal by any stretch of the imagination. Where there would be soft, delicate leaves, there are pure blades of flame just emerging out of vines and tree trunks. Till eventually you can see the cavern open up with the sounds of a forest, still with the roiling nature of lava behind you. You can see, opening up, sitting atop a perch, nestled into a massive statue, you can see a large fiery form. Its head bowed slightly. As its head raises, these two incredibly bright motes of flame open up and shine down upon all of you like spotlights. You can see
Flint
two...
is immediately going to take a knee in respect.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, and that's good. So you take a knee out of respect, the rest of you. As it notices you, the eyes peer down on all of you. You're maybe 50, 45 feet away.
I mean, Alex seeing Lady Flint do this, seeing like she has some type of connection here, Alec is gonna do the same. And like put her fist to her chest.
Torin is seeing that one of his party members is doing it, is going to also do it.
Okay. Everybody sort of taking steps of reverence then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Oyvind would follow suit with that.
Okay.
And Neil.
So all of you take, Zamir, is he doing the same? I just want to double check.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So all of you do take similar steps to reverence, which is good because you hadn't noticed it at first. But there are these two large trees that were sort of framing out this hole in the ground where this phoenix had made its perch. And you can see bursting from that bark, this fiery flame of a tree, these massive forms, giants, truly, still dwarfed in size by the phoenix. As it begins to stand erect, wings unfurl, you can see that in this probably 50, 60-foot cavern that it currently sits atop, its wingspan goes from end to end. This brightness unlike anything else you've ever seen. And the two primordial fire giants also step closer, not aggressively, but defensively. As I'll pull you all here, so you can get a general layout of what you're seeing. As soon as it'll load for some of you.
This is pretty.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Damn.
So that is what you see. 2 giant, massive fire giants, and then the phoenix. Like I said, its wingspan, as it's currently unfurled all of the way, stretches from this corner of the caravan, or of the cavern, to the other. 60 feet in length total. As it stands perched there, it looks down upon you. And for a moment, you can hear the sound of chirping and squawking and the roiling mass of a fire all jumbled into one, until eventually its vocal tendency straightens out till it realizes that it needs to speak common, and it does. As the beams of light focus down on you all, it speaks to you.
What purpose do you have coming to my home?
Flint will kind of look over at Alec and Varnast, looking for one of them to,
Yeah.
delete.
Alec will, still in that position, she will speak up, though. God, how do we say this? Oh, this is awkward.
Need to die.
We need you to die? Okay, a friend of ours. Someone who is very close to us. Someone that I would give my own life for. She was killed. And in order to bring her back, in order to cast the spell necessary, a ritual must be performed. And ingredients need to be gathered. We were instructed that one of those key ingredients was the dust of a phoenix. That is the honest purpose of us being here.
Then tell me, what is your plan, then?
My name is Alec Silverfoot, of Logan Silverfoot, Chief of Congiato and Warden of Efera, and I am here to do whatever I need to bring my friend back alive. I ask of you if there is any way that you can give us what we've come for without, if it's possible, without us coming to, without violence. I do not mean to come into your home and make threats. But I will do what I have to for her.
And all of you feel the same.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I do not wish to harm you, and I do not know this dead woman. But these are good people, and they have done good things. We ask for your blessing.
We are not alone in this. The Morgonix, the individual we wish to rise, is intermittent in a weave. Attached as we all are in an internal struggle against one that is only known as the Dark One. We need her assistance. She is as a part of this as we are.
What else do you need for this ritual?
We needed the heart of a red dragon. This we have.
I thought so. I felt something in these cavernous halls change. There is life now. Life where there was previously death and destruction.
The cleric you see before you removed the curse of the Death Knight and gave him peace.
I know that man. Eldrick was his name. You tell me you freed him and slay that red dragon who'd infected my home.
We have.
I can see the threads attached to all of you. Many phoenixes never grow to be quite this high. I am considered an elder. Thousands of years I have existed. And I have never turned to dust. But my home, this mountain, has been saved. And you all are responsible for that. And on top of that, I can see the threads of the pattern which pull you. And I can see one thread missing. I hope that she is returned to you. But I can feel something darker pulling here, trying to keep her away from you. You have made your case. And I will listen.
And you can see the phoenix nod and sort of retract its wings, wrapping them around itself.
May your ritual succeed. May you continue to restore balance and prosperity across this continent. And may your friend be returned to you.
You can see Phoenix nods. The light in the eyes dull. And The two fire giants look to each other. Sadness. And they retract back to the trees, cling to it, and absorb back into the fiery bark. As the phoenix nestles into itself, and you can see that there's no explosion. It just, almost like a dying star, it begins to expand and grow in heat and color and radiance until eventually it begins to fall back into itself, light fading, until there's nothing but a charcoaly husk of a large bird that eventually breaks and snaps into dust that slowly begins to get whipped up in a breeze and flies and lands in front of all of you. You can see one glistening golden, orange, and red egg sitting in the same perch where the phoenix once stood.
Flint will start pulling containers out of her bag to gather the ashes.
We have a phoenix bed.
No.
Can't touch the
Okay.
egg.
Do we just get the ashes and back slowly out of this place?
Yes.
Yes.
And Alec will help Lady Flint collect the ashes.
Alrighty.
When they're done with that, Flint is going to take one of her clockwork phoenixes she uses to cast healing word through, and she's just going to leave it in place as an offering.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. You set it down. And whatever dust is left on the ground, the little bit that you just weren't able to scoop up all the way, you can kind of see it begin to just creep towards that clockwork phoenix, as there is this like arcane life that is sort of given to it, this just dull red glow that seeps through some of the cracks of the machine. It doesn't move at all, but you can tell that it has inherited some quality from that dust. So, with that, you gather the dust, and you begin to make your way back towards the halls of the Casa tribes. Now, I'm assuming that this journey back to the halls of the Casa tribes is ones that you all will make rather expeditiously. Eventually, you do return to the halls, greeted by the chief, as she informs all of you that since you have the material components, you may begin the ritual whenever you're ready. But that is something that we're going to have to do next time.
No!
I know.
We must bring her back.
I know. Well, we're going to have to see at the beginning of next session, if it happens.
Another week.
I know.
Ugh,
I know.
Gross.
I don't think there's anything going on next Friday, so oh my goodness, Kayla.
Oh, jeez.
All right, got it out. It was building.
Alrighty. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the session. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for the Isles of Efera, next Tuesday for the Adventures of the Salamander Coast, or next Friday for what you really want to see, which is the continuation of the Explorers of Efera, and to see if Our Lady Morganix, like she's like a like she's a nun or something. Our Lady of Morganix.
I mean, not far off.
That's true. Yeah, to see if she has returned to our band of misfits, as they are definitely needing a nanny who doesn't drink on the job as much. But wonderful session, everybody. Thanks for playing. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Morganix
Farewell.
is the nanny, and like Flint is like the drunk aunt who gets you fucked up for the first time.
Yeah.
It's so, man. Well, yeah, okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.